Rhea Ripley is one of WWE's biggest stars. She's found success on every brand that she's ever been a part of: NXT UK, NXT, Raw, SmackDown. But it really nearly did not happen as a former Women's World Champion seriously considered quitting the promotion early in her career. In today's video, we are going to be discussing what transpired in Rhea Ripley's early tenure with the company, why she wanted to quit the business altogether, not even the promotion, but just the business, because this was major. Hey, look, Rhea Ripley, she has come a long, long way. She is one of WWE's biggest stars, not only in the women's division, but I'm talking in the entire company. She is coming off of a WrestleMania performance. That triple threat, her, Bianca Belair, Io Sky for the women's title at WrestleMania 41 was outstanding. That's a reason why WWE opted to book them in the opener of night 2. You knew it was going to burn the house down. It did burn the house down. It was easily the best match of the night. It was arguably the best match of the weekend. And how could you not think any differently when you had the star power of Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair? But that's where things pick up. While doing an interview with Paste Magazine, Ripley called working against top stars at the time, including Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler, but after failing to beat Nikki Cross in October 2017 for an NXT women's title, she lost 16 out of her next 20 matches during this time in NXT, okay? This was a time where she found a ton of success in NXT UK and then ultimately started to shut her down in NXT. And she said, I literally broke down. I was at the lowest. I was at my lowest and I wanted to quit. I wanted to give it all up. And I was like, no, you have to continue for all the people that actually did believe in you. You have to prove the doubters wrong. She completely overhauled her appearance and then changed her look at the 2018 Mae Young Classic. This proved to be a reset that she absolutely needed. She said, this is me now. And they were like, okay, well, we'll see if it works. Luckily, I went out there and I was much more confident. The second Mae Young Classic, it was all me. I didn't care. I wanted to go out there and do what I loved. I wanted to brutalize and entertain, and that's where Rhea Ripley grew onto, or into, I should say. So, Rhea Ripley, and I've talked about this before on the channel because I think it's a very interesting way to look at things. You got to keep in mind, Rhea Ripley is someone who, when she was early on in her career, she was doing big things in at CUK. There was a lot of comparison because she was physically gifted, right? Attractive young lady, and she was compared in a lot of ways to Charlotte Flair. And the build, to them being 1 minute, they just looked the same, right? They worked the same, at the same size, the same frame, and there was just a lot of comparison, right? They were really, really good in the ring. And a lot of people were like, oh, this is the second coming in Charlotte Flair. Then the negative people, the doubters, if you will, were like, oh, this is a Charlotte Flair ripoff, a copycat, if you will. I'm like, okay, that's not the case, but whatever, you look at it however you want. And so she went into a much darker, edgier character, right? She cut her hair. She changed her hair color. She started wearing darker gimmicks. And it really gave her an edge that I think that she was missing in NXT UK. It was an edge that she was desperately missing in NXT. Anytime that you can take a babyface character and add an edge to them, of, hey, they're going to treat you right, hey, they're going to do the same thing, but if you cross them, they're going to cut you because they have an edge, they have a sharp angle to them. That's what makes a babyface, in my opinion, of you can't just walk over them, you can't just do whatever you want to do. There is blowback, there is backlash to your actions when it comes to a babyface, and that's what Rhea Ripley needed. That was the missing piece, right? Now, she caught fire in NXT to the point where they put the strap on her. She became the NXT Women's Champion. But then WWE was like, hey, let's send Charlotte, and this was around 2019 into 2020. Okay, so we're still in the early stages of the Wednesday Night Wars between WWE and AEW. Remember that time period where NXT was going head to head with Dynamite, and Dynamite was kicking the crap out of NXT. And so WWE were like, well, screw it. Let's just put main roster talent in NXT and hopefully it'll boost the ratings. And so Charlotte Flair entered into a program with Rhea Ripley, and that was leading to a NXT championship match at WrestleMania, a unprecedented situation because at the time you did not see NXT championships be defended on the main roster and especially at PLE, let alone WrestleMania. This was going to be a major thing. This was going to be a major moment for Rhea Ripley. She was going to get to not only wrestle Charlotte Flair, she was going to get to wrestle on the main roster, but she was going to wrestle at WrestleMania as a champion in NXT. Okay, that's the significance of this match, of this moment. And if you look at it, it did not go well for Rhea. It did not. They were in the PC because it was COVID, all right? And it sucked. She lost. And not only did she get beat once, but they kept this program going, and they kept it going with Charlotte going over and getting the better of Rhea Ripley, and it really hurt Rhea's momentum. And so she shifted to the main roster, and she still wasn't the same, and she did not get to become who she is now until she joined the Judgment Day. And once she was in the Judgment Day, everything clicked. And she started putting those little bitty pieces together. And that led to Rhea Ripley having obviously her breakout year in 2023, winning the Women's Royal Rumble, beating Charlotte Flair to become Women's Champion, and continuously elevating her game, continuously in better and better and better, to the point where we are in a phenomenal period right now. You are a Rhea Ripley fan, and I think that's going to be something in which people are going to continuously talk about, because you have to keep in mind the performer in which Rhea Ripley is today, the confidence that she has in her movesets, in her promos, the way that she carries herself, the way that she looks, the way that she acts, the swagger, if you will. She didn't have that a few years ago, right? She really was just another name on the main roster there for a few years. And Adam Copeland, aka Edge, he wanted to start a new faction. And he saw, okay, I want to do a new faction. I want it to have a guy, I want to have a girl, and I want to take talent that are underutilized, that I think have a ton of potential. And I don't think he gets enough credit for this. So he brought in Damian Priest, who would later become a world champion. And he brought in Rhea Ripley. And his initial vision for the group, well, it was changed dramatically. They were trying to do supernatural stuff. And Adam Copeland was like, you know what? This is not going to work for me. And so they had Finn Balor replace him. And ironically, they started dropping the supernatural stuff, and that group started getting over. Now, it took a little time for that group to get over. I think the addition to the group with Dominic Mysterio helped it dramatically. I will say that. But they really started to click. And Triple H, he really took this group and took them to new height, to the point where really in late 2023 and then early, 2024 and even today, sure, the cast and characters have changed. Sure, Rhea's out and Damian's out. You still have Dom. Liv Morgan has joined. Raquel Rodriguez has joined. Obviously, Finn Balor is there. Carlito is there. JD Madonna is there. There's a lot of really good talent. And so not only have they evolved and progressed this faction, but I think they've reinvented it to the point where it's as good as the original. And I think a large part of that is due to the work that Liv Morgan and Finn Balor and JD Madonna is doing. But that group was so influential on Damian Priest and so influential on Rhea Ripley. Hey, you thought we were done here. No. One quick thing. If you would, let me know your thoughts on this video. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What I get wrong? What I get right? I'd love to hear your voice down below. Thanks for watching, y'all.